Hey, and welcome. Hey, and welcome, you guys. I hope my mic sounds nice. Check one. My mic sounds nice. Thank you guys for clicking on this video. Please do all of the things at the bottom of the screen. Hit that like button, por favor. Leave a comment about the video. How did you guys like this episode? How are you liking the season? Okay, let me know how you feel about my recap. Be nice, okay? Use your best manners, all right? Share this video where you share your videos because sharing is caring. Subscribe. Please and thank you. The Cash App and Venmo are both there for those who would like to partake. We're going to get right into it. And also, this is alleged, okay? This is alleged. We're here for Married to Medicine, Season 11, Episode 12, Calm After the Storm. Baby, it ain't fun no more. It is not fun no more. It was all good just a week ago, literally, okay? Fun and games when Quad was, getting her big one on, talking her ish. Fun and games when King ran up on Dr. G, but fun no more. It got a little heavy this episode, you guys. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get a full-on recap again. I apologize. This was not my intention when I started these, but I got to go with what they give me, okay? I got to go with what they give me. Your girl is generally long-winded, so, it is what it is. And for the sake of this recap, as it pertains to the recap, I'm only going to speak about Heavenly as it pertains to this episode. Now, I may address it after I'm done doing the recap. I may not. We're going to see how I feel about it. So, we're picking up where we left off. We see King run into Dr. G. Dr. G is shuffling back so quick, okay? King was running and running, if you know, you know. And Shaq, he breaks it up. Security grabs King. Security and Steve took Dr. G to, the other section in the other direction because he didn't really want that smoke. Sorry about to bust a grape and a fruit fight, okay? Meanwhile, Quad and Cecil had to send Letitia away from King. And I was wondering when I saw the thing when we heard Quad saying, go to your husband. Letitia, girl, what was you about to do? Well, later on in the episode, we know what she was about to do, but it wasn't needed. It wasn't called for. There were tons of men there. They were already separated. It was nothing you could do, baby. Go see what that little man is doing over there, right? Heavenly and Damon is staying out of it, okay? Heavenly's like, don't you go over there. He's like, oh, you got to worry about me. I'm staying right here. And it was funny because Eugene was low-key treating King like one of the kids. He's like, they got a history, man. And Quad's like, baby, you want to take a walk? He's like, yeah. Just go over there. Just calm down. I said, not you, not Dr. Eugene shooing him off like, all right. So a Quad, I'm going to say apparently, or maybe not so apparently. I guess she didn't realize that Dr. G was talking to her either. And she's saying in her confessional that he shouldn't be talking that way to anybody. I fully agree. But, he a little man, he a little insecure. And with that whole situation, he, Dr. G just like to run his mouth. So for as much as he said Quad talks too much, he too talks too much. So King is like, he ain't saying nothing to you and you can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want to say. But Quad's like, babe, I don't want you fighting. And I was like, thank you, King. Thank you. Because it really should be. Y'all, just because this is your ex-wife, should not make it any different. Y'all really stand by this. Men talk to the men and the women talk to the women. Heavenly got on the internet and said some very, very not nice things. And you ran to Damon. You ain't saying nothing to Heavenly. So give this man that respect. No, that's not her husband, but Dr. G is not about to do that because, like I said, he a little bit insecure. So Cecil's over there telling Gregory that he has too much to lose. And I said, G, this what you press charges for? I wanted him to get his shirt a little something, tug on his shirt a little bit, grab him up in his collar. I don't know if I wanted him to make contact, mush him, but only because he was so buck and about it, okay? But at the end of the day, that probably wasn't a good idea because he tried to press the charges. The charges didn't stick because the man didn't land. He didn't land anything. So you were just feeling insecure and you got the producers to have this man not to film with y'all, but he was still filming with Quad. But what I'm still trying to figure out is why y'all going up so hard for Dr. G. They showing you previous clips in case you forgot and y'all are still standing up for this man, talking about how wrong King is. I don't get it, baby. Now, Mimi is over there screaming at Letitia, they're trying to come between your marriage. Don't let anybody come between your marriage. And I didn't like how she said it. I don't like what she said. Why are you so triggered? Why are you so passionate about it? You don't even know these people. I feel like you're just meeting them. So I didn't really get what she was going for with that. Then they're like, Contessa and Phaedra are hugging her, and Phaedra comes over and starts praying and speaking in tongues. Baby, I said, okay. Toya was me, baby. She was walking over there looking like, okay, that's what we're doing. All right, girl. Eugene and Damon was like, what is going on? Are they speaking in tongues? Yeah, they speaking in tongues. And Jackie and Simone, just the look on their faces was classic. I was like, I feel you, ladies. I feel you. So Simone in her confessional talking about if God can get her to channel, if God can get Phaedra to speak in tongues, why he couldn't get her to get along with Apollo and Shireen. And Apollo over there saying he ain't never heard her do this in all his years. I said, Apollo, mind your business. And also, Dr. Simone, be so for real, because I know y'all don't like Phaedra, and I'm not the biggest fan either, but if you were in the same predicament as Phaedra, I doubt that you would feel any differently. We knew that woman was the side piece, but I did not know that she was pregnant with that last baby when he was cheating. And no wonder, as soon as he got in that cop car, she got them divorce papers drawn up and ready, baby. I ain't mad at her. Because I wouldn't have done anything any different. So Letitia and Dr. G are like, they're ready to leave, right? They end up taking two boats back to separate the group because they just can't do any more drama. And it was quite intense. Like I said, the fun is over. The fun and games, the shenanigans has come to an end. Jackie's on the boat, like talking to King, and she's like trying to tell him, like, listen, trying to get him to calm down and everything. And I said, not her making a joke about, what number they on today. She was like, what number on your arm? Like, maybe that's the problem. Like, y'all didn't get to the 15. That's why you're so tense. And even King had to laugh. And honestly, King wasn't tense. King has tried to be very cool, calm, and collected. That's why I really don't understand what all the animosity towards King is. But, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Again, if you get down in the comments and disagree with me, please just be respectful. That's all that I ask. So Contessa's like asking Heavenly if she's okay, which I was kind of surprised. And she's like, she's cool, but she don't like, see what all that bucking and that she be doing. But Heavenly, you did jump up also like you was about to fight. And it could have been, I think she said something because Shireen was going back and forth with Phaedra and, maybe she was a little overstimulated. But Contessa wanted to know basically, what was the problem between the two of them, why they couldn't get it along. And she said that T is real sweet when she's not being the Incredible Hulk, okay? She says that she thinks Letitia is feeling isolated and, she's on the hormones to get pregnant. I get that, but also Letitia likes to throw the rock and hide her hand. I feel like she's gotten a cool edit on this show because we've seen just how angry and aggressive she can get. Heavenly's talk about it on her live. So I want, to keep all of that in mind. Meanwhile, Letitia over there saying, I'll be trying to fight a senior citizen because she's making it seem like it was all Heavenly's fault. Y'all both had a little bit of blame in the situation. We'll go with that, right? So they talking about, the Shaq and Phaedra matching. And nobody really cares, child. It's a lot of conversation. So it looked like the last we saw when they were getting off the boat was King asking, Dr. Eugene how to handle the situation. I just like King's demeanor. I don't know what to say about it. Color me biased. I don't know. It's just because the comparison of him to Dr. G, who's hot. First of all, that squeaky voice, baby. Very hot-headed, very aggressive, very mean, very nasty, very rude. I can't do all of that. Triggered, okay? So the next day, Heavenly is in the room with Simone, and she's apologizing to Apollo and Shireen for things going left. And I'm like, Heavenly, why do you care? Not that I'm saying you owe Phaedra an apology, but Shireen and Apollo. And she's like, saying she didn't know. Apollo's like, listen, Phaedra knew that was my friend, but instead she gonna come back to me and say he didn't know. That Shake said he didn't know him. I think I got that mixed up last recap. So Shireen is over there pretending when Heavenly's talking to her, like, oh, they came in peace. They came with a different agenda. They came to be healing and all this stuff. Shireen, stop. That lady don't even speak to you. You was on fire looking for your moment from the time you got there. You was just waiting. So Heavenly's kind of saying, oh, Phaedra set this whole thing up and it backfired. And it's not her fault. I said, Heavenly, please quit while you're ahead. Please quit while you're ahead, because you are largely responsible for this too. So, like, let's not backpedal and pop now. And Phaedra did what, again, not a fan of Phaedra, but Phaedra did what needed to be done. Y'all wanted the same reaction from Phaedra, the whole, corner, which y'all did the low key, which y'all did the quad last season. And Phaedra didn't give y'all that. I think Apollo realized she was bringing Shake, so he bought Shireen. They both were to blame. We're playing a game. She bought him on a reunion. Like, everybody knows what it is. So, girl, don't even worry about it. Don't worry about Apollo. Don't worry about Shireen. Don't nobody really care. Damon's, reputation is intact, so we're gonna move on. So Apollo said that he reached out to Phaedra for a one-on-one, but she didn't want to hear it. I don't blame her, Apollo. I don't blame her. She don't really be trying to fool with you like that as it is. But you wanted a moment. You got to come on the show, so here we are. So Simone is asking what Phaedra thinks of it. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Simone is asking him what Phaedra thinks of the group because she doesn't communicate with them. And I did not understand Heavenly and Simone, Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Simone sitting down with Apollo, her ex-husband, who is shifty, shady, and all of the things, and is currently about to get divorced from Shireen, who's sitting next to him because he can't keep his hands to himself, among other things. And y'all are sitting here asking this man about Phaedra. I get that y'all don't like her, but this was too much. So, child, what was he saying? He was kind of saying something like, oh, it's the battle of the minds between the doctors and the lawyer. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Heavenly is saying like, oh, we see through her BS. And she sees through yours too. So he's like, I think he said that they're genuine people and that they've accepted her. It was either he said it or Heavenly said it. I can't really. It could have been Simone. Somebody said that, right? So these two, Shireen and Apollo, decide that they're going to leave Key West and head to Miami. Do what you want. Just go. Okay? Do what you want. Just get out of here. Meanwhile, in Phaedra's room, she's all packed up when Jackie stops by. And she tells her, she getting ready to go. So Shake is in the room with her. He's just chilling in the lounge. And she asked Shake for a minute so she could talk to Jackie. And Phaedra tells Jackie that she's disappointed with her. Why? Jackie didn't have anything to do with it. Are you putting Jackie? I know Jackie's like, Jackie ain't got kid the first, but I guess she's the matriarch of the group. I don't really understand it. Y'all can get down in the comments and let me know what your thoughts on it are. But Jackie's like, it was my understanding that you knew that Apollo was coming. And she's like, I didn't know the dynamic between the two of you. So, it is what it is. And Phaedra's like, nobody came to support me. And Jackie's like, you're right. I think we should get together with the group and you should explain that and we should figure out how to move forward. And Phaedra's like, I'm not the one to be played with. And I don't play with these type of mean girls. I said, oof. In her confessional, she's like, they treat the newbies poorly. She grabs her bag and Shaq and heads to her private jet. Now, her outfit was cute, BT dubs. Okay, very cute. But the audacity of you to call them mean girls. I mean, I get it, but girl, you too. You don't treat the newbies poorly. You use this as a stepping stone to go back to the Housewives of Atlanta, and we're going to see what you do over there because you don't like to give any of your life. You don't like to give any real. So, let's see. Because it was all fun and games last season with T. And now all of a sudden, you're trying to have this different point of view and this different stance, and I don't understand it. And Dr. G played in T's face on a reunion. So that whole thing is weird to me. So, like I said, Gregory and Letitia have also left. The fellas are getting together. They're heading to the cigar bar. The ladies are going to, I think, the distillery. And Simone's like, she thinks that they underestimated the tension between Quad and Greg and that they need healing. They do. Y'all play all day, though. Y'all play all day. So at the distillery, they're talking about it. Simone's kind of like, this is the worst trip ever. We have multiple arguments simultaneously, which is, I think, in my last recap, my issue with King is his timing of walking over and speaking to G. But I feel like it just was like the editing, because I feel like everything was going on at the same time. So if I have an issue, That is my issue. But if everything was going all at once, so be it. So she's like, the most devastating was King and Gregory because, she never experienced the men coming for each other, which they typically don't. The men keep it cool. I usually like to see, the husbands get together and shoot the ish. It's very calm. It's very mature. It's a cool type of vibe, which is how you expect the men to behave. But baby, not this time. So she tells them that when Phaedra left, she told Jackie that there were a bunch of mean girls. Baby, the silence that the ladies had, they're taking it all in. So Jackie's like, she said that she doesn't want to rejoin the group. And Simone kind of in the confessional comments, like, she will not be missed. And, Phaedra kind of thought she was above it. And I said, yeah, the ladies for sure did not like Phaedra, especially these type of bees, And I know some people feel like, oh, Phaedra is more famous from the Housewives of Atlanta. It was like a fight of hierarchy. They feel like they're above it all because they're doctors, and she feels like she came from the Housewife of Atlanta, which is like the bigger show. It was painful to watch. So Toya's like, wait a minute, me too, because I text her, like, I don't know if she respond, but like, that's not what I took from it. Toya, girl, you too. So the fellas are over there, they're getting a roll of cigars. And Scott was like, maybe it was just too soon for two divorced couples and two new couples to get together. And King's like, I don't even think it's that. Like, I get that there was history, and my issue was the disrespect. Again, I'm with him. So Damon's like, listen, I understand sometimes, being a husband, being a father, he's kind of saying like the nice goes out the window when that line is crossed. Like, even if you don't want to, you kind of, got to defend and protect. Y'all let me know how you feel about that. So a couple of fellas make cigars, and then they switch, and then another couple, and they switch. So we got Steve, Eugene, and Cecil. They're sitting down and talking. And Steve says, drama isn't his thing, but he tries to be the mediator. And Cecil's like, definitely need it when that drama pops off. Definitely need a mediator. Everybody does. Okay. So Steve's like, although there's tension, there's still respect. And so there's opportunity to come back together. He's like, that's the most unique couples trip I've ever been on. And Eugene's like, yeah, me too. Well, to a certain degree. So apparently the trauma has brought Contessa and Heavenly back together. She's telling Scott in the room as everybody's kind of getting ready. Toya's telling Eugene she don't want to go do the therapy, because they don't have all the answers. Sway, like, can we just ditch and go do something else? So Eugene's like, how about, we just go and be the Heavenly and Damon and just pretend to be perfect. Shade. I'm not mad at him, though. I'm really not. So Contessa on the way there decides to FaceTime T, and here goes Dr. G's big face talking about he tried to resolve it in a friendly way, and King just charged him, and he's still on fire, red hot, okay, and lying, okay. Why you always lying? Why you ain't said your part, Greg? Why you ain't say that? So they're like, listen, we just wanted to let you know that you guys are welcome and everything like that. Back in Atlanta with Greg and T, they're discussing the situation, and he says it was annoying and embarrassing. He wasn't ready to hear Quad say that she left him, and before he knew it, he had reacted. And T's like, don't let her get to you. And he had basically admitted that, he runs hot, and so it was best to just get out of there. That way he couldn't get in no trouble. So he's like, the environment was toxic, and somebody was going to get hurt. Had Check not been there, it would have been a fight to the death. Sir, please, knock it off. You had Sheck, you had Cecil, you had Curtis, you had Steve, you had the security, okay, security. And Letitia's like, I'm about to be all of that, okay? I said, Greg ain't like that, baby. And T's like, well, for one, I was there. He's like, what you gonna do? What you mean? She's like, I'm combat trained, baby. Like, just not what you want. He's like, you still a woman. And T's like, that don't really matter in the military. And he's like, you could be so naive. I mean, it's sweet, but you're so naive. Oh, his voice is so annoying. So Letitia's like trying to get him to calm down. Now, mind you, Letitia's voice is very calm. She was stating her opinions, and she's letting him know, listen, I'm entitled to my opinion. He walks away. He's like, you think charging a grown ass, he's like, you think charging a grown ass man isn't naive? Gregory, baby, you were embarrassed with your sexist ass. And I'm not even a fan of tea like that. Y'all know that, but she for sure deserves better. Who are you to say that she can't take a grown man down? Okay. And don't let Contessa get involved. Now, when y'all get in the comments, keep it cute. Okay. Be respectful. But no, honestly, I think she was just trying to say what she does go on to say in a little while, that she'd have had his back. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that she was, or at least initially, I didn't think that she was full-fledged thinking that she was going to fight King's big ass. But if she did, baby, let her rock. You ain't have to talk to the lady like that. So he go up in the room, slam the door. She follows behind him. I said, oh my God. Now they got the door closed, but of course we can hear on the other side of the door. He's like, this is all y'all fault. Don't make me, he's like, don't say shit to make me go off. Sir, she is not responsible for your emotions nor your reactions. Okay? You're a therapist. You know that. You're doing the most. So she's like, it's not my fault, and I'm entitled to my opinion. He's like, your opinion makes no sense, baby. I'm in here taking my notes, watching the episode. My 9-year-old walk in the room. He's like, your opinion makes no sense? It's crazy. I said, yes, son, it is. Now, can you let me get back to the show? Because I don't want him watching this. I don't want him watching this and thinking that this is any way for a man to behave, okay? He's like, you think you know everything since you got your degree and you think you know. She's like, I'm looking out for the team. He's like, you need to listen to the leader. I don't know who you think you're talking to. I mean, just straight going off, okay? I didn't like none of what he was saying, but also you could have said it differently, okay? You could have been like, babe, that's sweet, but you're my woman. I don't want you to be trying to fight no man, baby. Like, there's a way to say things, and he just does not have the gift of gab. So now the couples in Key West, they arrived. They're, almost all of them are in yellow, which stands for friendship. And they plan to have a positive listening couples exercise. So Mimi has bought the doggone lemons for a lemon squeeze, baby. Okay, the smile on Dr. Jackie's face in the background, she had that lemon squeeze some seasons back. It didn't really work out. This one worked a little bit better. Oh, and they got Quad's little bowl that Steve had bought at the auction for like, I think it was $5,000 he paid for that bowl. Y'all can correct me in the comments. So Simone is asking Mimi, how do you feel about the presence of the exes in the groups? Baby, Mimi, get on her soapbox, okay? She says when the exes are present, we need to know that each has done the work. And that's not what she saw. Give her that. She's like, have you done the work? Have you forgiven yourself? Now, I was with her on this part. You do need to do the work. You do need to forgive her. You do need to forgive yourself. That's huge. And that's something that we all got to work on. Now, the whole time they keep panning the camera to Quad. And I don't know that Quad was necessarily the issue. I mean, Dr. G wasn't there to get his just dessert. So I get that. But also you have to think that this man was shmooshiv. Okay. So she may be a little triggered. Okay. And then she's like, if you haven't, then maybe you should exit the group. And I'm like, Mimi, I don't know, considering last season, if that's what you should be saying. But it just really was her wording. If she meant you should step away and not really be arguing, then fine. But if you mean you shouldn't be part of the group, that's on the group for bringing the situation to the forefront, because Gregory was off doing whatever he was doing and Kawhi was on the show by herself. So Jackie's basically like, listen, I'm gonna tell you, if that was the case, for us, the ex would not be welcome. You mean in the real world? Because this is reality TV. In the real world, there is no way that my friend group is bringing my ex around. Be so for real, okay? And I, even if we're talking about an ex that I got kids with, it's just a no for me. So Toya, she wants to speak, and she's like, T was wrong and G was wrong, but we're wrong too. And at first, everybody's kind of looking at her like, girl, where are you going with this? So she's like, we say we're not mean girls, but we need to take a look in the mirror. So we get some flashbacks of some unflattering things the ladies have said, like some of their worst moments. So Heavenly's like, she thanks her, Heavenly's like, thank you. You say the hard ish, like you always do. And I was like, respect, respect. So she was like, she was wrong not to consider Quad's feelings. And, when she brought her ex around, all of us would have wanted the same respect, she's saying. She's like, because I agree with Jackie. Don't be bringing no exes around me, baby. The look on Simone's face was like, girl, are you so for real? So King is like, listen, I don't have an ex. And I know it's complicated and it's unusual and emotions got involved. You know, I admit both parties haven't done the work. So it's a very volatile situation that could go left. And we just kind of need to consider everybody's feelings. So then Eugene chimes in, and Dr. Eugene is usually very sound. He usually makes sense. But Dr. Eugene, I wasn't with you on this. Like, you and Gregory and our friends like that. He even says that, like, we aren't the closest, but you were cool. And I want his feelings to be acknowledged because he's part of the group. Why? Why? Because Quad and Toya beef sometimes? I don't know. So Quad's like, listen, I'm not asking y'all to throw the man away. I just want y'all to put myself in my shoes, and that'll give you clarity. So Curtis wants to reach out to G and T and Phaedra and let them know they can still be a part of the group and how to be corrected and blah, 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 blah. So contestants like, I spoke to G on the way here and he was on fire. Basically he was on fire, okay? He was still red hot mad. And so, we just need to take a moment, and I don't nobody care, because look at Dr. G handle it versus how King handled it. You didn't need to be that embarrassed. You really didn't. So Damon is like, listen, I accept everyone. You're amazing people. They kind of wrap it up. They're thanking everybody because they getting ready to go back to their hotel rooms. And I'm assuming next episode we're going to be back in Atlanta. When they tell us, the Band-Aid is off, time to go home and figure out how we move forward. And baby, that was the end of the episode. It's another long one, y'all. My apologies. So up next week, we get Jackie is going to go meet with Phaedra. Child, I don't know why. She's trying to figure out how they can move forward, but Phaedra doesn't think that's going to be possible. Eugene is asking Gregory, like, oh, you called the cops on King? He's like, I shouldn't have. Ooh. I hope the men check him. I really hope they check him, because anyway, we'll get into that next recap. Toya and Mimi meet with T, and she's just basically wanting them to, like, make a choice. Like, a side needs to be chosen, and I hate that for all of them. And it looks like Toya is not about to be with it. Now, she was with it last season when you brought the girl on here. She didn't really want Quad, but y'all ain't get Quad off. Quad back. Quad got a man, and Toya didn't cool her happy ass down, and she just sitting on the sidelines. Now, baby. Y'all know I love me some Dr. Heavenly, and just give me a minute, y'all. I'm gonna address what happened. So now, I didn't get to watch the actual live where she made the comment. I saved it to my watch later list, and by the time the controversy had hit the fans, it had been deleted. One of my fellow content creators was like, girl, it took, it's down. I'm like, it just was on there earlier. She's like, yeah. Or I think it was like, it was just on there yesterday. She's like, yeah. And then it wasn't. So I don't know why they couldn't just edit it and put it back up. But in any event, the clips are all over social media. So I did hear what she said. My feelings on the situation, she was wrong for what she said regarding a real man versus the community. That's the LGBT community. Because that, baby, to be funny, but not to be funny. That's how people F around and find out, okay? You be thinking they ain't rough and tough with their Afro puffs, and punks jump up to get beat down, okay? And that's true, but seriously, like, it's a messed up way for you to sit there and compare someone as though, like, they're less or they're soft because of their sexual orientation. Like, that's not cool. I've talked about the LGBT community on another video. I'm not about to get into that over here, but it's just, I wasn't with it. I ride for her when she's, doing her producer things, and a lot of stuff I kind of let slide for the sake of the show. But that comment right there, that was just, I don't know. I felt like it was too far. I know Funky said, and Lord knows I don't do Funky. I stopped following him a long time ago because he's not very kind to women, and he has a lot of, unsavory things to say. And I just, I'm not a fan of that either. But he's like, low key, that's how a lot of us feel. And I think if that's the way that you think, that there's some work to be done. So do a little soul searching, y'all. Figure it out. We need to, all, especially in these times, work together and treat each other kindly and with respect. That's my perspective. I appreciate you guys for coming through. Again, like the video if you haven't already. Comment your comments on this episode and the season if you like. Share the video. Subscribe. Keep your notifications on, baby, because sometimes it be a whole thing, okay? Your girl's trying to get to 1,000. So look, the subscribe is on the screen here. I'll even put this up here for y'all real quick because I didn't mean to run this long. But I appreciate you guys ever so kindly. please check out some of my other videos and meet me back here for the next one. I appreciate you guys. I really, 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 really do. Peace. Finding it.